65, 70%, some of the coaches that have come in here have cited that statistic. How, if at all, does that change what you look for in defensive players?
Well, Mike, I think it most certainly does. The game is becoming a spacing game, more spread sets. So the nickelback actually, over the last 4 years for us, has actually played more snaps than our third linebacker. So a 5 DB set, and even now more so, you're seeing 6 DBs and 7 DBs out on the field. It does change, and I think one of the things that when Mike and I talked about him joining our staff is you've got to play to get him to third down, and that's when, as an offensive coach and as a defensive coach, where it really becomes fun. You got to get him into those third down situations, and that's when you get into situational football, and I think that's where the game is really played.
Okay, so when you're in a sub package so frequently, how important is it now to look for a dominant pass rushing defensive end that can disrupt things and help the secondary?
Well, I think it's very important. I think you saw the team that won the Super Bowl this year, the way that they rotated, and I know Jerry was just up here, the way that they rotated their defensive line it's not always necessarily the sacks that are produced, it's the pressure that's put on the quarterback and getting him uncomfortable. And pass rush, I think, is very important to win on third down. And then you've got to be able to have guys that can match up with the talented wide receivers and the tight ends that are playing in this league right now.
In a pass-happy league, is there more of a premium now on that type of defensive player?
Well, I think at the core you have to control the line of scrimmage, and at times you're going to have to be able to run the football. And I think that was evident there at the end of the season with the run that the Super Bowl champs had. Even though during the regular season statistically they weren't the best running team, through the playoffs they were one of the top running teams. You're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. Whether that's running the football or throwing the football is going to really be dictated on how people try to defend you.
Does there come a time, if you're in nickel or dime 65 or 70% of the time, that evolves into base?
Well, I think, we talk about changes in evolution. You could basically almost say right now that your base defense, or the most predominant defense, is a five defensive back or 5 DB type package. There's more teams that are playing with 6 and 7 defensive backs. You see that more frequently now.
Could you give an example maybe of something Malarkey did with your quarterback that you think will translate to his head coaching experience in Jacksonville with Blaine Gabbert?
Mike did a great job with Matt Ryan. Matt has a very good skill set, but Mike helped develop Matt, especially in our no-huddle offense. We were able to implement that very early on. Became an integral part of what we've done over the last 4 years, and actually the first time we did it was the second ball game of Matt Ryan's career. And Mike Malarkey and the offensive staff had a big part of that. We're able to put it and simplify it and compartmentalize it where we could take it and operate efficiently and effectively very early on.
What's going to be the
pressure on you now with that first pick, that 55th pick, considering that you did what you did was last year in the first round?
No, I don't think there's any more pressure in terms of the pick. When you're picking early, I think you have a little bit more focus on what is going to be available. As you get beyond, some years it's maybe the 15th pick, some years the 20th pick. When you get into that, into that second round, there's a lot more players that may fit into that range. So I don't think it's any more pressure. I think what we have to do is we have to do our due diligence as a coaching staff and as a scouting staff to make sure that we've identified the guys that are going to be available at 55. We obviously know that there's going to be a number that are going to be gone, that are obviously going to be gone before we have an opportunity to pick.
Hey Mike, with Curtis Lofton, what have you seen from his development as been with you guys for a few years, now he's a free agent? What do you see from him?
I think Curtis Lofton has done a very good job for us. In his first year, he was a two-down linebacker, did not play in our sub package. The last 3 years, he's been a very important cog in our defense on all 3 downs. He has definitely been the leader of our defense. He's been the signal caller, and he's done a very nice job. Curtis is a very active middle linebacker in terms of his ability to play both the run and the pass. He's one of the leading tacklers. I think he has really developed into a top-level linebacker.
What's going to be the fourth and short strategy going forward? Are you going to remain aggressive in that?
We're going to remain very aggressive. Unfortunately, it's been well documented. On fourth down, we were not as efficient as we needed to be. In the first 3 years, we were. I still have, a strong belief in short yardage that you should be able, and statistically, you should be able to convert. Unfortunately, we didn't. When it doesn't work, it's not a good call. When it works, it's a great call.
Is that something you look at, saying maybe putting new packages in, things like that?
We look at, believe me, we do a critical analysis of everything that we do, and fourth down and 1 was at the top of my list this season, I can assure you.
Hey, Coach, how did the young corners do with their activity down the stretch? Franks, Owens, and then the Durrell kid, the Notre Dame kid that was also getting some action. With in light of the fact that Grimes is also a possibility out there on free agents.
Well, I thought our young corners had to play at the end of the season. Dominic Franks, I think, did a nice job. He played our nickel, our fifth corner, our inside corner, and he got a lot of experience. Christopher Owens, because of some injuries, had to as well. So those young guys got some experience this season. I think it's very important as you build a team to get as many guys involved in getting snaps as possible, and we were able to do that. Some by injury, some by the level of play by the guys that were playing in front of them.